You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Now's a good time to remember where the story of tequila started. In 1795, the first tequila distillery was opened by the Cuervo family. And 229 years later, Cuervo is still going strong. Family owned from the start, same family, same land. Now's a good time to enjoy Cuervo, the tequila that invented tequila. Go to Cuervo.com to shop tequila or visit a store near you. Cuervo, now's a good time. Trademarks owned by Becle, SAB the CV. Copyright 2024. Proximo. Jersey City, New Jersey. Please drink responsibly.
Everybody's a winner at the JCPenney Mystery Sale. Hurry in store Wednesday through Saturday for a coupon giveaway while they last. You can peel and reveal an extra 30, 40, or even 50% off. Use your coupon to enjoy even bigger savings on Easter apparel and spring fashion. So, how much will you save? JCPenney. Make everybody count. Offers valid on select styles 327 to 330. Exclusions apply. Giveaway in-store only. Must be 18 or older. See store or jcp.com for details.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
That's what she said. I was responding to Lewis talking in my ear. So
classic.
No one else got that joke other than Lewis. But the audience heard the punchline. And so this is what I invite everybody listening to the show. I want you to come up with what was the setup that made me start the segment with "That's what she said." And go ahead and send it to @LeBatard Show on Twitter, on Threads. If you want to record a video and do it
Threads
on Instagram.
Is dead, buddy.
No, it's not.
Threads.
No.
I got a thread on my shirt.
Don't you dare.
Why don't you let me know?
Don't you dare. Thread is alive and kicking out in these streets. And Juju, you for sure, don't you dare. The hospitality that was shown. How dare you, sir? How dare you? But no, anywhere on social where you find Le Batard Show, go ahead, shoot us a comment. Let us know what the setup was for me to deliver the punchline. That's what she said. I want to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves, but not about their basketball. Did you guys talk about this on the show last week at all? Are you guys familiar
not
with
really.
where I'm going with this?
I'm pretty sure they did not.
Okay, so for those of you, I know people follow a lot of different things. There's the Shohei story that was huge and maybe took up a lot of people's time. Football is always football. People get confused by that. March Madness makes everybody mad. But the Minnesota Timberwolves had a guy who got arrested on felony charges, burglary, because he snuck into the office of the executive VP, stole his hard drive, and then proceeded to download thousands of files off of the hard drive, including NBA strategic information, but also the financial information of the exec. And this man was once on the coaching staff as an analytics kind of aide. He got demoted last August due to poor performance, and this was his way of exacting revenge to steal a hard drive. And so it got me thinking, because I worked in a front office and I worked for people I did not like at all. But I never thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to steal his hard drive, figure out what's on that. Have you ever been driven to want to steal in an effort for retaliation?
Not me. Never. Not once. Yeah. Officer.
If you could, but not get caught, what would you steal?
Not a damn thing.
If you could, we're just assuming in a world as a genie says, hey, man, you're not going to get caught. This is your way to get revenge on XYZ person you don't like. What would you steal?
I mean, money. Yeah. I feel like that's the easy. I'd steal $1 billion from somebody I don't like. Perfect. Okay.
I think the things I see on TikTok of girls who get revenge on their boyfriends, or they steal things that are kind of why would you steal that, but cause small problems. They steal all the batteries out of your remotes, or they steal the light bulbs from your lamps. That's what I would steal.
People do this?
Yeah. Honestly, kind of a brilliant way to get revenge.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's no one's going to be like, oh, man, she stole the light bulb.
No, just make them feel like they're going crazy.
It just gives you a lot of just really annoying inconveniences. Nothing that the cops are going to show up, but things that you're ruining someone's day a little bit.
What happened to a good old-fashioned upper decker? You know what I mean? Just ruin the toilet. You know what I mean? And go about your business.
I'm going to say, go ahead, steal my batteries.
Steal their left shoe. All their left shoes.
Steal my
Just make them feel like they're going insane.
upper decker, the person who came up with the upper decker, what a
Diabolical.
diabolical asshole.
Diabolical.
Right? Like just
Like, what's that smell?
and then you look at the toilet, like it
Toilet's
looks
empty. I
clean.
don't
Huh?
get it.
Oh, maybe just give it a flush, or maybe I gotta go take a leak. I'm like, oh, I'll figure it out later, and you flush, and then, like, how do you got to throw the whole toilet away, right?
Yeah, throw the whole damn
Like,
thing
it's,
out.
you can't. There's no cleaning of that.
I'm sure there's a way to clean it.
No.
Throw some bleach in there.
No. Gone. Take it away.
Have you ever tried to take a toilet out?
I've seen
They're
it.
so heavy.
I've seen it done on HGTV.
What's the hammer? You just like smack the shit out of it, break the porcelain.
I've never even heard of an upper decker.
What?
When he said it, I thought he was talking about like an uppercut punch for a second.
Chris,
That's an uppercut.
Chris, if
That's why I was like, what? Is this a weird name for an uppercut? I was like, what's an upper decker? And I Googled it. I was sitting here like, wow, everyone knows but me. I feel really alone.
Chris, I'm gonna be real with you right now. If we took headshots of everybody in this room right now, put it on the internet, erase names, put it on a side of the internet that's never heard of any of us, and said, of all these people, who do you think would be most responsible for an upper decker?
And I've never heard of it. What are you pointing? What is it? I still don't even know. The act of shitting into the tank of a toilet done
Yeah.
as a prank?
So you know what the tank where the water is, that's where the water comes when you flush your toilet?
Yeah.
People take a dump in that part. So then when you flush, instead of water coming out,
Oh, shit.
it's water that's been soaking up
I have never heard of that. That's
just
crazy.
loads of dung. Like a tea bag.
Does sound like something I would have
Loads
done.
of dung is the scientific term, also.
It's just, oh man, like why? How mad was that guy, by the way? Was he mad or was he just the person who took the joke too far?
My real Dan doesn't like this topic, by the way.
Right, speaking of dung, I feel like the Chicago Bears are in a prime position right now to have their future look bright. Like if they draft Caleb Williams with the pieces they surrounded him with already, especially combined with that defense pulling it together at the latter half of the year, dare I say that's a rookie's best friend.
I'm gonna say this right now about Caleb Williams, and this is something that your regular Dan ain't gonna do, but your step Dan is gonna have a word about this. Brother, you can paint your toenails and your fingernails. You can put on lipstick. You can do all that stuff. You better be good. Just like Joe Mazzulla. Like, if you do that kind of stuff, that outside the box kind of stuff, you have to be amazing. Because the minute you mess up, they are going to light you on fire. I'm not telling anybody how to live their life. You live the life, whatever makes you happy. I'm just saying, when you're in that position,
You better be damn
if you're going to be
good.
eccentric in any way, however you define that, you got to be good.
It's the same thing that we do with Mike McDaniel, right? Like, oh, he's quirky, he's cool, he's the fun coach. And then you lose to the Bills, and then you lose to the Bills again, and then it's like, ooh, things are not that quirky anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we need to do better.
Maybe go to too many Heat games.
It's wild that people are just discovering this. He's been doing this forever. Back when he was playing for USC, he used to play or paint Utah on his nails. So like before the game, you would see the shot. I always thought it was cool. I don't know why people care so
I think
much.
it's
You
awesome.
guys gotta
I think
chill
it's awesome,
out.
too.
Everybody's got to relax.
I'm not judging what he's doing. I'm not
Saying
saying
gotta
it's
be good.
awesome or terrible.
Sounds a
I'm
little
just saying
tricky.
when you do that, you cannot go out there and get your ass rocked.
But like what?
Hey, yeah, maybe you can.
What is
look,
so? Well, all right, Juju.
We talked about it yesterday.
didn't.
I pretty much commend him for doing this. Like, if that's what you like to do, if you want to paint your nails with a lipstick, shoot, turn up. I celebrate it. I think it's cool of him to do that because that's a community that doesn't get a lot of support. So if you're going to show support to the LGBTQ community, why not? I love it.
You can also just paint your nails.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing it for support.
It was how he. Did you see the video? He painted his nails. He had lipstick on his whale with the pink phone. He was doing a little. I think it was cool as hell.
I'll be honest
Yeah,
with you, Juju. I don't think it was an LGBTQ thing. I think he was like, I'm going to a women's game. Let me do some stuff.
I also
I
no,
think
I
that's
don't
chauvinistic.
either.
He
That's
does this
chauvinistic.
all the time. Like
Yeah,
he
this is
did
just
this.
what he does,
did this at USC all the time. It's just he's always been doing it.
I think
People
the
are
way
just
that
now
we're breaking it
noticing
down is slightly like, I don't want to say problematic, but the way that we're making this as if it's not like
Jeremy,
a normal masculine thing
Jeremy,
for him to do.
if he gets sacked 5 times because he held the ball too long and throws 3 of 13 in a game,
Yeah, the worst people on the internet are going to be shitty toward him. Who
That's-
cares?
That's what he was saying.
That's
That's
all
all
I'm
he was
saying.
saying. He's just
And
saying that the comments and the commentary for a rookie quarterback, something like Trevor Lawrence, because like the
he had
noise
long
gets
hair. Like people did the same shit. Like I just think that I get completely what you're saying. Like, I get completely what you're saying about it being out there. I just don't know that this is that far out there, especially in Gen Z, man. This is not out there.
I'm just saying, if you're going to do that, you better be nice as fuck.
Well, he won the Heisman, so.
Score major comfort with the new Hanes Originals Super Soft Styles. Imagine this. Fabric's so soft, it feels like you're practically wearing nothing. Now that's next level softness. Whether you're storming the court, conquering the workday, or just chilling on the couch, Hanes Originals Super Soft Styles have you covered. Literally, in soft, cooling comfort. And let's not forget the style. These sleek designs and colors won't just keep you feeling great, they'll have you looking like a champion. So ditch the discomfort and upgrade your game with the new Hanes Originals Super Soft Styles. They're soft, they're cooling, they're everything. Try Hanes' softest fabric ever at hanes.com/originals. Use discount code DANLB20.
Stugotz here. When PXG says nobody makes clubs the way they do, they're not lying. When I heard about their new Black Ops driver, the driver that promises you don't have to sacrifice distance for forgiveness, I had to try it. I went to a PXG location for a fitting. Steve, the fitter, was incredible. The whole process was quick. It was easy. It was amazing. Black Ops drivers are adjustable to deliver a combined MOI of 10,000 plus for unreal forgiveness. That's ridiculously high. The higher the MOI, the more forgiving the club will play. So you don't have to square the ball perfectly for it to go straight and get distance. The phrase game changer has been thrown around so much, it's lost its meaning. Trust me when I tell you, the PXG driver is a true game changer. You'll be as impressed with it as I am. Learn more and get free shipping on all equipment at pxg.com/Dan and use code Dan at checkout. That's pxg.com/Dan, code Dan for free shipping on all equipment. pxg.com/Dan, code Dan.
Dan Le Batard.
Amino Hassan.
Stugotz.
Amino acid.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Along the lines of you better be nice as you know what. The kid from Duke.
My man, Jared McCain.
Who does a lot of TikTok stuff. A lot of TikTok stuff. And I'm not talking about like, hey, guys in the dorm room that are in the locker room getting ready. He does like all the trends, all the little dances, everything like that. Again, I say emphatically, whatever makes you happy, do it. As long as you don't hurt other people, do it. But understand, if you're going to do all that, you better be nice as what? You can't.
Drop 30 points.
You can't. No. You guys keep talking about, Lucy ended the segment talking about Caleb Williams on the Heisman. You're talking about, I'm not talking about that. That's easy. You're playing against teenagers. I'm talking about when you get to the big bucks. I'm talking about when you play against the big boys. You better be nice. It's kind of like what happened with Lonzo Ball. Right? Even though Lonzo wasn't doing any of the talking, it was LeVar. It's like, it's cool, it's funny, it's attention, it's all that stuff. You better be nice as You can't have all of that or all of this as we're seeing on the screen.
Is this a likable Duke player?
No.
The most likable Duke player of all time. 100%.
I love his videos.
He's great.
You love Justice Winslow. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, I did love Justice
Okay.
Winslow. That's different.
Okay.
But not while he was at Duke. Like, there's a difference.
You didn't like him when he was a Duke.
Yeah, nobody likes anybody at Duke.
Hold on.
But you like this guy at Duke.
love
Yeah, he's great.
Just because he does TikToks.
He paints his nails. He does TikToks.
So
he
the only
sings,
reason
he's
you
fun.
like him is because he does stuff on TikTok.
It's because he's fun.
So if he did it on
He's
Instagram.
fun and likable. Yeah, sure. If he did it on Instagram, it doesn't matter.
If he did it on
TikTok.
Facebook.
Yeah, sure. He could do it on MySpace.
If he did it on Truth Social.
No, I wouldn't like
Oh!
That's a little different.
Finally, we got him.
Boxed in.
Yeah, that's it.
No,
I'm the woke liberal,
also,
so.
Nick Harrison, you loved him at Duke.
Well, I love him now.
Oh.
A lot of caveats here in this argument, by the way.
No.
I just think that what Jared McCain's doing is pretty cool because it's like I think we just got to start embrace. And this is what I was trying to say in the last segment, and I feel bad because I didn't try to make it personal in the way that you guys were describing things. You're right. Like, people will go after Caleb Williams. You guys are entirely right. And by the way, both of you were being like supportive. This was not a gripe against him from either of you. This was just a conversation about like this is the norm now. Like Gen Z does not give a shit about our sort of standards and
Z
painting
also,
your nails and like it doesn't make a difference.
I'm gonna tell you, there's a couple because you said the worst parts of the internet, and I said yes, them, but also not just them, because the reality is Gen Z is not the biggest consumer of sports.
Right, but this is how. So, like, this is the evolution of sports, right? Is getting people to care about the athletes, and so Jared McCain, who now has, you know, what, 1 million followers on TikTok or whatever he does, that's how you get people interested in the games that he's playing.
Sure.
Right? That's how you get Gen Z.
That's how absolutely. That's the onboarding if he lasts long enough for the onboarding to complete. Because in the meantime, it's like walking into a room, right? Like a room is a party. There's a bunch of people in there. You walk in the room and like, I'm the different guy. Now, I'm the different guy who's going to bring in a bunch of people with me. But when I first walk in that room, it's the people who are already there. And the people who are already there, like I said, they will tolerate it, most of it. Yeah, like the shitbirds are going to do the shitbirdy thing. But the majority of the people in that room are going to be like, I'll tolerate it if you're nice as Sorry to give you extra work, but
making my job so difficult.
But I have to emphasize that part because that's the vibe, right? And so when you come in, and again, it doesn't matter what it is. Whether I do TikTok dances, I wear lipstick and have what's his name?
A pink cell phone.
Yeah, or
nails painted.
I contest player shots in timeouts. Whatever that.
Take a knee. I listen to Kodak Black, bruh. At the end of the day, we're not talking about the perception of many. We're talking about the guys. I sat there and watched the Atlanta Falcons say, we do not want Lamar Jackson last year because of how he just whatever the motivation for that was. We're not talking about Generation Z. Generation Z is not signing the checks. We're talking about the people who are going to be hiring these young players, and their opinions ultimately matter the most because they are a clique of people who can tell each other, we ain't signing them, don't you sign them. So that's the angle I'm coming from. Of course we support these brothers and sisters, these young people. Why not? Look what we support them to the end of the earth.
When it comes to the TikTok Gen Z generation, Juju makes a great point. I think what we're like, this is already sort of becoming the norm in the sense of like Grady Dick was huge on TikTok and we loved all his videos and they were all funny. And so it's just going to become something you're used to seeing. Like you'd be hard to find, like I get the Arizona men's basketball team TikToks all the time. Like it's just going to become the normal thing. Like I think I like seeing them because it always reminds me like, oh my God, these are kids. Like they're very young and that's just going to become the normal. In 10 years, it's not going to be a really big deal that people are making TikToks and then, you know, being a professional athlete.
It's the norm for the players, but yet the generation, Gen Z, is not going to go into ownership, right? It's the next generation. Not with any attitude. Nobody can afford a house. I know. Even more so owning a sports team. But the point is, as the generation, whatever boomer generation that is, the next generation picks it up and picks it up. Gen Z has like 50, 60 years until they get into those positions.
But with player empowerment the way that it is and individuality being so emphasized within all of these sports, I mean, we could talk about Jazz Chisholm Jr. too, and the way that he's talked about the MLB clubhouse. Like, Gen Z is being embraced. They have to be embraced. They're the labor.
But Jeremy, they're embraced when they're nice as get it ready, nice as right. And so this isn't even new. Dennis Rodman was out here with eyeshadow and wearing a dress. Right. But you know why everyone's like, that's just Dennis? Because he was nice as at what he did.
With 20 boards a night.
Right, like it was unassailable. And the best defensive big, in terms of at the power forward position in the NBA, and clearly a huge part of success for the teams that he played. He never played for bad teams because he was a guy that helped winning. You can do eccentric. You can do outside the box. You can even make outside the box, inside the box if you're nice enough. But if you're not, if you're just another dude, they will eat you alive and spit you out and won't think twice about it. And it's all contingent on your ability to produce until it becomes a norm. Allen Iverson is a great example of this, right? Allen Iverson was outside the box as you can get. Tattoos, braids, trying to put out a rap single in the middle of his career, traveling around with a big entourage. Like, he did things that Commissioner Stern was bouncing off the walls. If Allen Iverson were Eric Snow, he'd be out of the league. But his talent allowed him to continue. And not only that, as he continues, what happens? He influences. Everyone else is starting to get their hair braided. Now everybody else, more visible tattoos. Guys used to get tattoos like on their stomach and on their back, places that you couldn't see it. Now you see guys with sleeves. Now you see guys with the compression sleeve and the fashion. And so he molded the culture. But if Allen Iverson were just a good player, dog, none of that shit would have happened. And so that's what I say about Caleb Williams. That's what I say about the young man from Duke whose name escapes me.
Jared McCain.
Like, it's cool. You better be nice. Because if you're just good, they ain't, like Juju said, the people that sign the checks, they're going to get you up out of here.
Do you think that being sort of eccentric, as long as it doesn't affect the locker room and eccentricity, like, I think the thing that Lucy and I were sort of agreeing on here is that maybe it's just through the Gen Z lens, but like painting your fingernails pink or having a pink phone case or throwing on a little lip gloss, whatever, like that's not eccentric amongst each other.
Yes.
And so if it doesn't interrupt what's going on in the locker room and you're not an issue off the court or off the field, then what is the real problem? If it doesn't affect sort of your behavior around ownership or things like that, it's just, hey, I'm blending in with my generation, then how is this really an issue for anyone?
I would say, again, it's not about whether it is an issue. It's about whether it's perceived as an issue, right? So,
right, of course.
So, yes, my 27, 25, 20, even my 31-year-old teammate doesn't see anything untoward about it. My coach, maybe. But again, all of it is absolved. If you're nice, you do whatever you want, man. Dennis Rodman went to Vegas in the middle of a championship season. He went to Vegas, and they couldn't find him. Like,
that was the best part of The Last Dance.
And by the way, that wasn't like a big secret. Like, people knew he was doing these Vegas trips in the middle of the season. Hell, James Harden in Houston was doing Bahamas trips. Like, if you're good enough, we will tolerate anything. Mike D'Antoni used to say, I'll play Satan if he's got a jump shot. Meaning, like, you can be, like, just as outside the boxes can be if you are producing. If you're producing. If you are just a regular person with the ups and downs that regular people go through, the tolerance level goes down to near zero. And to that point, right? Again, it's not your teammates. It's going to be your coaches, management, ownership, sponsors, and then media. Because most media people aren't 23. You might find an errant one here or there, but for the most part, it doesn't quite work that way. Can we do against the spread right here?
That's right. It's time for Against the Spread. And it is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours. I'm going to stay in the NBA. I don't know why I said stay because I'm the first one to go. Magic playing the Warriors at home on a back-to-back for the Warriors tonight. I'm going to go with the Magic minus 4.5. You know, the old back-to-back. It's a tough trip.
The Miami-Orlando back-to-back.
Exactly. Everyone always talks about how tough that is for teams. It's like playing in Denver on a back-to-back, playing in Orlando. Just like it. Tony, what do you got?
We are going to the College Hoops Sweet 16, and I am taking the North Carolina State Wolfpack plus 6.5 against Marquette. DJ Burns, the big dog, the smooth operator. I'm taking the Wolfpack plus 6.5.
More to come later in the show from Tony Brackets, by the way.
Anybody else? No?
I'm staying in the association like Chris. I'm going to Memphis tonight. We got the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Grizzlies. I think the Lakers got a little twinkle in their eye because after last night, a lot of good momentum. And the Grizzlies, we all know, are rebuilding. Salute to Gigi, I love you. But I'm going to take the Lakers against the spread.
Against the spread!
-4.
Hey, it's Mike. And first off, let me thank you. A lot of people have hit me up privately, curious about my fishtail ponds, and I just got some landscaping done. And let me tell you, they've never looked better. I've got light shining on them, and now every night I go outside, sit on my patio, look at my fishtail palms, and drink some Miller Lite. Yeah, a lot has changed over the years. One thing that hasn't is the great taste of Miller Lite. It was the original light beer, and to this day, it's still the best one. Miller Lite has more of the taste that you want and less of the stuff that you don't. Oh, sitting outside with my family, letting the music play and sipping Miller Lite. That is the good stuff, folks. That is what life's about. Times change, but you can always enjoy the great taste of Miller Lite. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can pretty much find it anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces.
Dan Le Batard.
We got Afrini Hardaway.
Freeney? Who was a Freeney Hardaway?
I was trying to read fast. UD was on the team. Luke Jackson, Bobby Jones, The Matrix, Shawn Marion.
Stugotz.
Zoe, Shaq, Smush Parker, Chris Quinn,
Wait a minute.
D Wade,
Wait a minute.
Jason Williams, they're all right. I mean, stacked roster.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
So I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I am a fan of eating exotic animals. I'm using exotic very loosely, but you tell me that we have an opportunity to consume an animal that people usually don't consume, I'm there.
You're in?
I'm in.
So obviously you don't eat pork. That's the only animal that you don't eat.
Yeah, I don't eat. And shellfish because I'm allergic.
Okay. When it comes to exotic animals, what's the one that you've tried? You've been like, not bad.
Oh, a bunch. More than not bad. Rabbit. Gator.
Gator's good. Gator's kind of like calamari.
Rabbit, tell you guys,
Rabbit's a little gamey.
There's a new Gator Chili hot dog at Marlins games.
Tell me more.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I went yesterday to the Baseball Bites sort of showcase of all the new food that's going to be at the ballpark.
I didn't get invited to that.
Thanks for the
Again,
invite.
you said you were going to invite us last year. You said you were going to get us this year, and now you...
Last year I was invited by the Marlins.
Billy was there. So I don't know. Yeah, Billy was there. I don't know what happened
multiple
with you,
people
Chris.
knew about it, didn't say anything.
Mike Fuentes was there.
What?
Oh my God, this is bad.
He's not even here.
I probably just didn't see the email.
Yeah, that's likely what happened. Nonetheless, it was delicious. There's all sorts of good new food, but like the main new thing that they were throwing at everyone is Gator Chili hot dog with real hunks of gator meat inside the chili. It is delicious. They were putting them out in little tiny bites. I had 2 or 3 yesterday.
Gator bites are fire. It's kind of like a mix between like calamari and chicken, the way that the meat is, but it's not like a red meat like you would think. Oh, it's like a steak.
No. I said Gator tastes like a chicken that took a swim in like some pond water. That's the best way I can describe it. Every time I go to New Orleans, I have to have fried gator. I have to.
Fire little Papados.
And every single time, what I do, I open it up. It's usually on a po' boy, and I put the hot sauce on it, and I let it know. You thought you was top of the food chain. Guess again. And I tough talk it to let it know. It's one of my great delights. I've also had venison.
Venison's good. I like deer.
I had it in New York, and it was excellent. And then we went to Salt Lake
We had it
City
together, yeah.
in Utah, and
It was not good.
Not that good.
It wasn't good. I think they overcooked it, right? Because venison is supposed to be done very medium rare almost.
Supposed to be falling off the bone.
That's right.
Yeah,
and it's supposed to be a little, red, pink inside where you can eat it very, very nicely. They gave it to us as tough as a $2 steak. The shit was hard as hell.
Hey, yo.
Sorry. There's been an issue at my house where I've been bored of eating the same beef, chicken, fish, whatever the du jour dinner
You're in a food rut?
Yeah.
I hate a food rut where it's like I'm eating the same 10 places
I can only do
and over and over
I'm cooking
again.
at home, so it's like I can only do the same dishes so many times a week. Right. Okay, we make turkey chili. Okay, great. Then we have, picadillo, or we have a steak, or we have this, or we have that. And I'm like, I want to get out of my comfort zone of just doing the same thing. The problem is my wife is she's not a picky eater.
Conservative eater.
But she's like very conservative when it comes to eating.
She's trying to keep it fresh.
Right. She's like, why don't you come out with a new menu? And I'm like, me?
What do you
want me to do? I throw protein on the plate. I throw some veggies and we make it happen, right? So she knows I've eaten rattlesnake. I've had in a sausage.
Fire.
In Denver, I've had it.
Fire.
There's a place in Denver that had a rattlesnake sausage. Was great.
Sports Nation, they got us a chef from Texas who came out and was like, these are some better tailgate foods. And boy, he was bringing flames with him. That rattlesnake?
Crazy good.
Crazy good.
So
stop it.
Yeah, you need to stop that. Juju guy.
Stop it.
So I went to a place that does high quality meats, right? So
You're being so careful. You're so scared of everything.
No, because I don't want to also give a place a plug that they don't sponsor or what we do, whatever. So I go to this place, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, okay, I put my usual stuff, a little grass-fed beef here, a little grass-fed beef there, some mahi, some this, some that, and then I run across elk, and I'm like, you know what?
You said, get in my mouth, elk.
I didn't say that, but I was like, you know what? That right there, that's something that I want. So they said elk is basically like beef to veal, where it's kind of like that.
Oh,
difference.
It's more tender.
It's a little more tender.
Okay.
And if you don't know what an elk is, it's like a big ass moose.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I didn't know. I would have guessed it would have been tougher than regular.
No, apparently it's a little bit, a little bit more rich in flavor, a little bit more tender. So I bought
a bullwinkle, by the way.
Yeah. I'm not eating bullwinkle. So it comes out in, a package like a pound of ground beef would. So I get it, I bring it home, and I call my wife and I'm like, hey babe, listen, I got this, and that, and I was this close. So the elk meat was right next to, and I feel like you'd follow me on this. I mean, kangaroo meat.
Oh, give me some Skippy the kangaroo.
So it's like, dude, I told my wife Jenny, I'm like, babe, I was this close to getting ground kangaroo. So we would have had elk one night, kangaroo the other night, and then she drops a line to me that I was like, first off, what do you mean by that? She tells me, you've been very adventurous with your meat lately.
Yo.
Go on.
First off, what is that supposed to mean? I don't like the insinuation on that I've been adventurous with my meat. My meat knows where it's supposed to go.
Let my boy cook.
And that's it. But I want to get some elk. I want to get some kangaroo. What's wrong with that?
Would you make elk tacos or something?
I haven't made it yet. It's still frozen in the thing. But she's like, I'm not going to eat it. I'm like, I'm going to make it, and you're going to eat it, and you're not going to know the difference.
You're not going to know.
Sorry.
That's what I love. I love when they don't know. Like, oh, what meat is this? Surprise.
It's kangaroo.
It's Kangaroo Jack. Good day, USA.
So again, I'm a adventurous eater when it comes to different types of proteins that are around.
There's no way to say that.
Protein.
There's no even that.
I got elk.
Even that.
I got kangaroo. Got some rattlesnake. Got some gator.
It does seem like your wife is right, though. I mean, you just named a bunch of like 4 or 5 exotic meats. You are getting a little wild with your meat recently.
Adventurous, not wild.
Yeah. Wild.
Keep it respectful.
Be respectful, Chris.
I mean, she's not wrong, though. How do you argue with what she's saying?
She's not wrong.
You were offended by it, though. You're like,
what? The insinuation was that I'm out here eating roadkill. That's all I'm doing. Even though I've heard of iguana, delectable in some countries.
Speaking of iguanas, in Miami, Rojas put out a response to Jazz. Did y'all see that?
We have the video for that, I believe.
Okay. Holy moly.
So while the video team gets that ready, Juju, can you bring people up to speed on what Jazz said to create this situation?
I feel like that'll be blasphemous with the Miami Marlins expert in the building. I feel like he can give us the most nuanced take on all of this.
Just give us a quick one because we got the video ready.
Jeremy, are you adventurous with your meat?
Okay. So Chisholm Jr. Spoke on a podcast about the way that some of the veteran players on the Marlins treated him when he was a rookie and coming up through the last couple of years. For context, there was a players-only meeting that in 2022, when the Marlins were struggling, it was Don Mattingly's last year as manager. Miguel Rojas was the captain of the Miami Marlins, someone who had played for Don Mattingly for years in L.A. and now into Miami. And Miggy Rowe was not really playing very well that year. Jazz and some of the younger players were the guys who were playing well-ish. Mm-hmm. They were a bad team, but establishing themselves. And basically what Jazz said was that a lot of the veterans were hard on him, hard on a lot of the other young players, namely Jesus Sanchez, who did like the Soto shuffle, was having fun in the batter's box. Chisholm Jr. talked about a time where he specifically was taking a nap before the game, and the captain of the team did not wake him up, for a meeting that was happening. And basically he was saying like the older guys didn't really want to help us. They just wanted to kind of shit on us.
And he never named Rojas, but everyone knew it was Rojas, and everyone was waiting to hear what's Rojas. He even said that he sucked. Like it wasn't like he was blunt.
No, he went
like,
after
our captain sucked.
He went after him.
And so Rojas was on with Chris Rose, and he's responded to Jazz.
Everybody's entitled to have their own opinion. Whatever you want to say about me as a player, you can have that opinion. But you saying that I'm a bad person when you don't even know me, that's kind of what bothers me. I'm not expecting everybody to like me, and I don't like everybody. But that doesn't mean that I can go out there and tell everybody what's happening in the clubhouse. As a professional, you have to understand that you have to respect everybody that is in that clubhouse. When you come to a place and you get to a new place, there are people there that have been there before you. There's rule in place, and someone is going to keep you accountable. That's all the bets we're trying to do.
All right, so this is what I'm going to say. It kind of sounds like he's backing up what Jazz said. Because as a young player, you don't know the rules. You don't know how to do this thing. You have no idea. Especially, I would imagine in baseball more so than perhaps any other sport.
A lot of unwritten rules.
So many unwritten rules, right? Like, and the way baseball is played literally everywhere else in the world, they don't follow a lot of those rules, right? So it would appear to me like when you say, "Hey, how can you say that about me? You don't know me as a person." Like, dog, you're the vet. You're the one that's supposed to reach out. He's the young guy. He doesn't know.
I think that's the part that was complicated about this. At the time, and the reason I brought up the players-only meeting was it was sort of positioned like, all right, Miguel Rojas is going to, hold all of these guys accountable, and he wanted to bring everybody together, but then basically spent that entire meeting, according to the reporting and some of the conversations that I've had too, basically just ripping Jazz and some of the other young guys for what they were doing. And it's tough in any locker room, in any workplace, to hold somebody accountable when you're also not holding up your end of the performance side. So Miguel Rojas was a professional with all of us, like with the media. He was a guy who was probably given a little too much of a platform, being brought out all the time to the media as a representative of the Marlins for years.
It was all the team had, though. Like,
he
there
was
wasn't
everything. And so as a result, Derek Jeter really empowered him as the shortstop, as a bilingual guy who could speak to the media in Miami and really be able to kind of be the face. But as he was the face and he gained all of that power in the locker room, he was struggling to give up some of his sort of old school ways with some of these younger players. And there was a divide in the locker room. A thing Jazz spoke about is like at the time, some of the older Hispanic guys were divided from like him, and some of the younger black guys or Hispanic guys in the locker room. I know that Sandy Alcantara and Garrett Cooper really supported Jazz. Like, it was a divided team.
Right.
And those two guys simply just did not really like each other or jive.
To me, like the vets, having good vets is so important. And again, I can speak from a basketball standpoint, but you don't necessarily have to be a great player in that moment.
Udonis Haslem.
Right. Like UD's the prime example.
Miggy was supposed to be the Marlins' Udonis Haslem. Right. The issue was that he had not really established himself as the type of player that UD had been earlier in his career.
Right.
So while he's trying to preach to these younger players about what's the right thing to do and how to play the game, he had that experience. He learned from some other guys. But when you're batting like 220, it's a little difficult to be able to preach that.
But I just feel like that's your job is to be big brother and put an arm around their shoulder and get them to understand rather than to shit on them. That ain't gonna work. Upper decker.
If he hit a few more upper deckers.
Hey, it's Mike. And first off, let me thank you. A lot of people have hit me up privately, curious about my fishtail ponds, and I just got some landscaping done. And let me tell you, they've never looked better. I've got light shining on them, and now every night I go outside, sit on my patio, look at my fishtail palms, and drink some Miller Lite. Yeah, a lot has changed over the years. One thing that hasn't is the great taste of Miller Lite. It was the original light beer, and to this day, it's still the best one. Miller Lite has more of the taste that you want and less of the stuff that you don't. Oh, sitting outside with my family, letting the music play and sipping Miller Lite. That is the good stuff, folks. That is what life's about. Times change, but you can always enjoy the great taste of Miller Lite. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can pretty much find it anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories per 12 ounces.
Join us today during the Jeep Celebration event. Right now, get 20% below MSRP for an average of $15,178 under MSRP on the purchase of a 2023 Jeep Grand Cherokee Overland 4xE or Summit 4xE. Not compatible with lease offers or with any other consumer incentive offers. $15,178 average based on 20% below average MSRP from all 2023 Grand Cherokee Overland 4xE and Summit 4xE models in dealer stock. Residency restrictions apply. Take retail delivery from dealer stock by 4/1. Jeep is a registered trademark.